Ah, yeah, I can take loans as well, I suppose. Alright, I want a general in Gloucestershire, Oxfordshire. Oxfordshire. I want to rename this army Marches, and I want to rename this army Oxford. Perfect. So unselect marches. Get you in Oxford. Okay. Get some cannon. Why not? Build a 15 stack. Are you fucking shitting me? Okay. Yeah, we've got a pretty strong financial market here in Ireland. It's pretty cool shit. Oh. He white beast him. If he had waited a bit longer, he would have been. Oh my god. Unbelievable. I'm so done with France, man. But if I had not accepted that call to arms, 1493, the English would have declared. Actually, that wouldn't have been that bad. I mean, it could have been worse, you know. So if the English declare war on me, then I won't have to deal with their rebels. I mean, their allies. Let's not pay for the fleet. Irish blood has been spilled for no reason. Hey man, we killed some English. We had fun. That would have been legit. I mean, killed lots of English. Made him spend a lot of money. He spent more money than we did. Granted, his income is higher, so he can spend more money, but still, not to be trifled with. Now, what did you even lose? You had to give up Champagne and Bourgogne to a bar. Defensive war also reduces aggressive expansion. Only if it's only if I release land, right? Yeah, France isn't a joke. It's just that France declared war on Austria, or rather on an HRE prince, right? So he declares war on HRE prince and their allies, which is Trier, right? But then there's also Austria. Austria is allied to all of those people. Now, he did factor all of that in before declaring the war. That's what AIs do. Except when you're fighting Austria, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 states that can all hire Condottieri. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brought the difference from 100 to 200, 100 to 100k, probably more like 101 to 100k, because AI is pretty aggressive in this batch. So it's 101 to 100k, right? He declares that war because he thinks he can win, but he doesn't take into account Condottieri. And if there's 7 states, that's a lot of Condottieri that they can hire. So they hired like... They easily hired 100k of Condottieri. I mean, Trier alone hired 20k Castilians. And you can bet your ass that Austria, with all their Diplo rep, they're gonna hire tons. So they easily hired 100k Condottieri in that war. So, you know, and they don't calculate that in, so they get wrecked. A week of France is good for me. Yeah, so I'm not all that. This is good. I mean, I want literally all of their land. All of this land is vital interest to me. So I'm alright with that. Oh, you don't need to worry about that, Kieselsaman. As long as you don't play on very hard. The AIs very rarely hire out Condicherry. Very rarely. But if you play on very hard, they'll do it at like... Which, you know, makes it fun. And it also kind of bugs me, right? Something bugs me in this game as well, is that... you get the situation, right? France against the war, they just lost it, you know. That doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It's not like every offensive war that was ever declared was successful. I mean, obviously there needs to be like some sort of mistakes need to be made, right? It's not like, because that kind of bugs me. It's like they make the AI so that whenever they declare a war, they'll know that they'll win. And then they're going to win, and then there's that, right? And the game turns into this. I don't know. I feel like that's actually quite alright. You know, I mean, I was just explaining why he lost that war, but that doesn't need to be a bad thing. Even if I wanted a strong France, of course I'd be salty about it, but. Still, I mean, not all wars have to be successful, and there need to be some failure wars, I think. So, I suppose that's all right. And Condicherry is the perfect way of doing that, actually, because that makes it so that like wars are a little bit more random, because it's not just like count the numbers and then just be like okay. So it's a little bit more random. So you get more situations like this, which is actually good, because it adds a little bit more of a random factor to the whole situation. I think it's actually yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, but this wasn't suicidal. Of course, suicidal is annoying, right? Suicidal is stupid, but this wasn't suicidal because we had more troops. It's just the Condicherry skewed to numbers. So, I mean, suicidal is... Yeah. You know, when is something suicidal, right? Also, the fact that we even have a ledger is... bonkers. So, I don't know. I quite like it. Otherwise, it's just, you know... only ones and zeros instead of other things. Hold on though, I'm gonna grab myself a drink. Poland, 2 ton a quarter is getting wrecked by Poland. I've played on very hard. I've played, well technically, okay, so this is attempt number 8, right? But 7 of those. No wait, 6 of those were abandoned after the first 4 years. So I've played Gothic Theodoro 1 full playthrough, and I've played, which, you know, Poland was alright, and then I've played 2 more very hard campaigns, and the 2 ton a quarters wrecked Poland in 2 out of 3 there. And I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing because Poland declares war on the 2 ton a quarter. 2 ton a quarter is allied with usually the Livonian Order and then some freaking minors, so possibly Mecklenburg. Sometimes they ally Riga, and sometimes if they're lucky they'll ally Hungary. But I suppose that is the thing that pushed them over the edge here. But the Teutonic Order tends to ally some of these miners, right? And they can also hire Condicherry, and they will. And it fucks them up. It just does, because well, he doesn't own the Union anymore, but he did have the Union for a bit. But from the looks of it, it looks like Hungary actually made the difference here, so I can't say anything conclusive about that. But I don't know, I'd have to play more very hard games, but I think this happens a lot. And I think it has to do with Condicherry. Because it tips the balance. And any tag that fights a whole lot of different tags. So France usually ends up fighting people in the HRE. I've seen France die so many times in on very hard. It's just, but I mean that's so alright, I suppose. And you know, Poland's the same thing. They fight many small tags, and I don't even know if Lithuania is allowed to hire Condicherry if they're in a PU, and I don't think they are. So that's one less guy on his side that can hire, and one more guy on the other side. So you know, for the human player, dealing with Condicherry is actually it's pretty doable. All you have to do is stack wipe the stack that's being hired out, and then the Condicherry are gone, right? So you're gonna focus on that shit. You're gonna stack wipe the Condicherry stack, and then you'll be, you know, you'll kick 20,000 men out of the war, just like that. But the AI won't do that. The AI absolutely won't do that. They don't hunt down stacks like that at all. They focus on targets that are like 4 provinces away at most. I believe it's 4 or 5 provinces. And they focus on stacks that they can beat. But if a Condicherry stack, say Teuton Agora hires some Condicherry from Thuringia, they're not gonna chase that down. Whereas a human player would make it like one of the top priorities, right? Before you even start the sieging, you're gonna march over to Thuringia to stack wipe that Condicherry stack. The AI would never do that because it's A, really far away, B, it's not really the war goal, and you know, so. Kind of shit. Yeah. But I'm gonna grab a drink. Actually, there's more factors to it than just a couple provinces away. It kind of depends. If they have like a target to go to. What's also really funny is that if you keep your armies moving, so if I have this stack right here, right? If I have the stack and if I tell my stack to do this, the AI will never target this stack. AI will never target this stack because it's not standing still and it just can't target it. So the way the AIs work is that they like target a stack or a target or a siege or whatever, and then they go over there, and then if somehow along the way they get interrupted, so if I suppose that they wanted to siege down Ulayth and I do this, then they pick a new target. They pick the next target on the list. And targets that are 4 or 5 provinces away are much more likely to be picked. I don't know if it's random. I'm assuming it is. but it's like weighted, right? But if they're moving, they can't be targeted. So what you could do to make them target your stack, if you want to like run away and make them chase you, you need to stop for a day. And move like that. Otherwise, they'll lose the target on the stack. They'll even lose the target on the stack. I've seen this happen in Morocco when I try to trap people in Africa using this fancy new straight here. It was impossible because I kept my army moving, and then when I stopped my army, they started moving towards me, and then when I started moving it again, they were like, oh no, let's not deal with it. Until it was 4 or 5 provinces away, or like 2, 3 provinces away. Until it was really close. So if it's like right next to you, it'll keep chasing you. But if it's further away than that, and if your stack's moving, they won't go kill it. Which is weird to me. I wish I knew how that worked. I really wish I knew how that worked. So if there's a stack in like Ulayth, then they would chase, they would be able to chase this thing. But if a stack was in Lothian and I kept it moving, then they wouldn't even bother chasing it down. Like they'll just let it go, which I suppose is good that it works like that, because otherwise it might end up like targeting some stack with like a 6 maneuver general that just. And it doesn't even need to be like exploitable, right? Well, it is exploitable, but it doesn't even need to be like, you know, a planned exploit or whatever. It might just be a different AI with like a 2000 stack and a 6 maneuver general, and they'd be 4 provinces away, and they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna chase that down. But if they have a 4 province lead, then it might just take them like half a year, so that army will be incapacitated for like half a year trying to chase down that 2000 stack. So I think it's good that it works this way, but it'd be nice to perfectly know how that works, because I feel like there's a lot of exploits to be found. But anyway, I'm gonna be calling it off here because it's really late. It's 10 past 5 here, 10 to 5 a.m. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching this on Twitch, I don't know when I'll see you guys again, because I've got exams next week. So I don't know. I might potentially stream tomorrow for a little tinsy wincy bit. Yeah. It's not going to be at my usual time. I'm not going to be streaming at 12 p.m., which sucks because Sunday is like super freaking Sunday. But I'll if I do stream, I'll stream somewhere between 5 p.m. until like 7 p.m. Central European time. So that's in 12 hours from now, more or less. So anyway, thank you for watching and good night. Thank you. It's an easy one though. It's oh, actually no, it's not. Next week I've got a really difficult one, and the week after that I've got a really easy one. Next week I've got philosophical shit. I've got philosophy of history, which is not the philosophy in history, it's the philosophy of writing history, right? And then the week after that I've got contemporary history part 2. So, but yeah, anyway, see, good night. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but if you have any questions, anyway, good night.